Good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I always do every day during the week and sometimes during the weekend. How's everyone doing? Seems to be a little echo here. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. I had this one time at the right levels and sometimes things change. Oh, you know what it is? I have my windows open. That's what it is. A lot of feedback because of the streets. The windows are open today. I forgot to close them. Good morning, Brian. Good morning. So you might hear some New York traffic, the sounds of New York. Yes, they're always in the background because New York City is a noisy place. Anyway, good morning, Mr. B. Mr. Brian is in the building. How are you today? I see David is in the building. Good morning, Dave. How are you, sir? And you know, I was like, should I touch on the news today, or should I just let it go? The same old, same old. Biden's in the news, right? But also there was something that I was so excited about in the news headlines, and I forgot to mention yesterday. Um, and this is regards to where we are in what's happening overseas. And I've brought it up many times about the the right wing, or you want to call it the right, alt right, or whatever they are called, were rising up in Europe. And the Europeans, at least in France and England, or Great Britain or Britain, said, no way, no way, no way, no way. And so you saw last week the British, they were able to, their liberal, what do you call it, the labor part of their country, laborers, conservatives, labor conservative movement. They won more votes than any time in history, and so it was really good to see that phenomena take place in England, especially when several months ago they were having some huge street rallies with the far right, and I do believe they were saying that Steve Bannon was at the base of some of this stuff. So, but they were defeated. Also, the conservatives, I think they call it Toros, they were also defeated in Britain. So good job. And then France on Friday, or this week, was it this weekend or was it the weekend? I think they vote on weekends in Paris or in France? I think they vote on weekends to make it easy for people to vote. And so that was really cool to see them defeat the far right. I think her name was Le Pen. Le Pen was her name, and so they were able to defeat her, and so there you have it. And I read somewhere, I think that they were able to come together as a country, and in 3 weeks were able to do this. Someone please let me know that information. But it's quite fascinating that when people are standing for justice, and when people are standing up for human rights, and when people are standing up for their own needs and not the corporate needs and not the needs of the institutions, they will win. Looks like my no one, I'm not sure if anyone's getting the information that we're on today, but it seems like it is very quiet. It is very quiet in our space today. So anyway, if you're in the Instagram area, come on over to our YouTube channel. That's where we thrive. So come on over. And I see here, who else is in the building? I see David says, I really want him to step down and he won't survive 4 years. Oh, David, I don't know. When it comes to Biden in this election, I am definitely conflicted. I mean, obviously, cognitive. Look, sometimes I can't remember certain things, and I'm 60 years old, and I can't imagine as the world gets more complicated in the next 3 or 4 years, because it will get more complicated, that Biden is able to to handle it. I quite frankly, and this is, I did put this proposal to my family. I was hanging out with them on Saturday, and I said, I it would be this would be the ideal scenario. And I've heard it. I heard someone mention it on Sunday, which I was like, "Oh my gosh, they got the memo. They must have heard me from the backyard." No, I mentioned this also last week, that I am a big believer that Biden probably should resign from the presidency, period. I mean, since all this mounting is happening and people are conflicted and they're like, oh, I mean, however, though, when you go to, they had the Essence event this weekend, Black folks were on the Biden train. Like I said, I talked to most of the family members in my family. Most of them were on the Biden train. And, you know, I've been looking at lots of reports and interviews when it comes to people of color, mainly the Black population, which is really, Black women are really the foundation of one of the main pillars of the Biden presidency. And I find that most people are like, you know what? When you compare, obviously we who are for democracy, it doesn't really matter who's on the ticket. It's democracy against dictatorship. And so it really does come up to, I mean, that's what it comes down to it. It doesn't really matter who's on the ticket for me, because I'm going to vote for whoever it is that's against Trump, because I am totally against Project 2025. I am totally against anything that will continue to deteriorate our civil rights. I am against any organized mindset going after women's rights. So yeah, I am. When I think of the scenarios, I think yes, maybe Biden, if he had to resign from the campaign, I think he should also resign from the presidency, and then issue in Kamala Harris as the first Black woman president, first woman president, first woman of Asian descent president, and make history that way. It is my belief that if he did that and say, you know what, it is time to hand it over to, after some much consultation, much thought, I want to leave this office on a high note. I want to be the person to be the bridge from my era of presidency to the new era. And again, he will go out as, I think, to me, if he did that, he would go out as a hero. One is because he really was the anchor for Biden becoming president. I'm sorry, Obama becoming president. If having him on the ticket made people safe and felt good about voting for Obama. So he helped issue in the first Black president, right? He came in as also, he came back from retirement, from being vice president, to save the country. And he saved the country, and he came into He made all of his saved us from Trump, right? And then if this thing keeps pushing him, and then he will be the first person to initiate. He will be the one that issues in, I should say, ushers in, the issues, ushers in the first Black female president. So I just think that's just my opinion. If they keep pushing him, like I said, if Biden's on the ticket, I'm voting for Biden. I don't care if Biden was on a respirator. I don't care if Biden was hooked to machines. I'm voting for Biden. But if Biden decides that he needs to leave the ticket, I would say not only leave the ticket, that he should resign his office and then let Kamala Harris go into the events, or what are you gonna call it, the convention, to go into the convention as an incumbent as president of the United States. And then I think also by doing so, he will suck the Democrat Party will suck the air out of every Republican room. There will be no place for the Republicans to stand. They will not get any media attention because everybody will be rejoicing on Biden's move. This is just my opinion. My opinion. And like I said, if they were going down the route of he had to leave the ticket, he should resign totally from the presidency and say, you know what? I'm going to give you America's first Black woman president, Asian woman president, woman president. He will go down as a hero. I mean, he will, again, Kamala will be sworn in. That will be on the news. What she's going to do is going to be on the news. It will be all about Kamala and the Democrats. And by doing that, I think you will also generate a whole nother level of new participants in the elective. People will vote. A lot of folks that would stay home will come out because of the historical value of having Kamala as president. Just saying. However, like I will say over and over again, I don't care if Biden is running. I will support Biden until the wheels come off the cart. I will support him no matter what. If he is, like I said, if they hook him up to machines, I will support him 100%. And I do believe, hey, Elise is in the building. I do believe that the Democrats need to stop eating their own. That is, when it comes down to politics, the Democrats are known for eating their own. And all of this attention on Biden, yes, he is slower. Yes, he's stiffer. Yes, he is old. They should be talking about Trump. They should be talking about the convict. The felon. They should talk about the woman, the man that's been brought up on charges of raping a woman or mishandling a woman. They should be talking about They should be talking about Trump on all levels of all parts of the Democrat Party. The media, I think, is a problem. I try not to go down this political road, but it is politics and photography. And but I really believe that Democrats need to stay focused and stop talking about all the crap that is going on about Biden. Bad debate. When he went into those audiences in Wisconsin, the crowds were screaming his name. When he was in the churches this weekend, the people love him. And you are going to have some problems if you change things up now. It's a lot of work to change up the ticket. So I'm all in. I've said, you see me putting my banners, you see in my stories. I am all Biden. I prefer that he does not get off the ticket. But if he did go down that road, you know what I say. Put Kamala make her president right now, and then let her usher in being president, because then you can't change that. She will be already the first Black woman president in the country, and the first Asian woman president, and the first woman president of the United States, if they went down that road. But my number one train of thought is to stop talking about Biden's deficiencies and pile and share the Project 2025. There's too much at stake. I still don't get it. Why is the media not talking? I mean, some folks are talking about Project 2025 now. Beautiful. More needs to, but still, mainstream media is still not talking about Project 2025. You don't see it a lot on ABC News. You don't see it on CBS News. You don't see it on NBC. Those are the main, right? So I think there should be a lot more. And the media ushered in Trump before. They were the problem. We wouldn't have Trump. Trump would have never became president if it wasn't for the free media time that he was getting. So my thing, guys, is stick to your guns, stay focused, and go Biden, go blue all the way. And again, it's not just Biden, it's blue all the way down. The Republicans are no longer the conservative party. Those days are gone. This is not your grandma's Republican Party. Okay. Whew, I'm sorry I went down that road. Mark, David, you drew me in. David drew me into this, y'all. Sorry about that. Y'all can blame David. We love you, David. Here we go. So let me go back from all this talk over here, and then we're going to dive in. For just so you know, today is Tip Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about. Did I put that in there? I guess well, let me just show you what the screen is going. We're going to be talking about how to simplify your shots in photography. So that's the subject for today. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the last half hour of this wonderful gathering of our wonderful community. Trish says politics and photography. Good morning. Omar's in the building. Omar says good morning. Aya says Grand Rising, Ron and RLP. The live button does not appear on YouTube. Really? What's going on YouTube today? That's why there's so many little people here. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Is there a problem with YouTube today? There's always something going on in the world, right? IMO, there is too much focus on President Biden serving 4 years. Just get him elected. Sadly, there is history of presidents passing away in office and vice presidents taking over. And it won't be the first time, right? Right, Brian? It won't be the first time. And again, what they should be saying, here's another way they should be saying about, why are you worried about Biden not making it through the next 4 years? When he has Kamala, he has a VP, and she's more than qualified. They should be lifting her up. However, they did a good job at the Essence Festival down in Louisiana this weekend. I saw some of the footage, some of the clips. Check out Don Lemon's clips. Check out Joy Reid's clips. It was an amazing weekend at the Essence Festival. David says he has no energy. No, this is not true, David. He said he has no energy, said he needs to go to bed by 8. Doesn't sound good. Coming from White House, doesn't sound good from any president. No, I will have to I will have to agree to disagree with that statement. The reason why I disagree with it is because I know that being president is a hard job. Biden is managing two major wars going on in the world. That's to get started, just to start. There are other fires going on in the world that you don't even know about that's going on that we don't know about. But I've had some conversations this past weekend with some folks that were insiders about, the border and overseas and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes that keeps the president up all day and probably all night. So the job of the presidency is so difficult and requires so much work. And I've been talking, Chris and I talk about this, a couple of my friends. I'm 60 years old and I am finding myself the need for naps. I am finding a new level of need for naps. We are not, the older you get, the less, what's the word? You need more rest time. And it's interesting that also the body, though, however, doesn't move in that direction. It seems like you sleep less when you're older, for whatever reason. From the seniors I've spoke to, they don't sleep as long. Yeah, so there's a lot of things you need rest. And I would say if you are the most important person in the world, I would say you need to put I would say some boundaries. And I like, what I do like about mentioning the boundaries. I think it gives us all pause to say we all need boundaries. I know some people in this community that don't answer their phones at certain times. I'm done out. I know I do not get on the phone with anyone past 10 o'clock unless they're like really close friends and I'm talking to them because something happened. You have to set boundaries, and verbally saying I got to go to bed by 8 o'clock, or I need to wind down at 8. I literally have on my app, my phone, it's time to wind down. It's scheduled into my calendar to wind down because we have to wind down, and it's okay to say I need to wind down at 8 o'clock. That's my opinion. Serena says, hi, everyone. What's going on? Serena's in the building. Brian says, make it plain, democracy or dictatorship. Exactly. This is the choice. Everything else is distraction. Thank you, my brother. Tish says, that's right, Ron. We stick with lesser of two evils. And, I don't know if we can't say lesser of two evils. I don't think there's anything evil about Biden. But I think there's a whole lot evil about Trump. I mean, can we just put that in perspective? Biden is not an evil. Biden may be a difficult choice because of whatever you may feel about age or whatever. But the evil in the room is definitely Trump. I see some good mornings there. Good mornings. Good morning. Hey, Bryson is in the building. What's going on, Bry? Hey, Rashawn. It looks like like something's gone on, right? So maybe the YouTube notification has been turned on because people are popping in. And I have to say good morning to my wonderful Elise. She says good morning to everyone. Forgive the noise if you hear the noise in the background. Omar says this is a small window for the DNC to gracefully galvanize the party. Biden should announce his retirement and announce Kamala Harris as the nominee. Yes, see, whatever they do, they need to do it fast. But again, I am all Biden. If Biden's on the ticket, like I said, I don't care if they got machines on him. I will be voting for Biden. Roshan says, good morning. Well, let me put that up there. Sorry, Roshan. I almost forgot to put your good morning up there on the screen. I like to put people's good mornings on the screen. Elise says, whatever happens, we have to remember 1968. We will have to be as unified as the people in France. Yes, right. That's right. I opened up with France. I'm so excited about what France was able to accomplish. They threw the alt-right to the side. Le Pen, they kicked her out. Not only did she not get the votes, they came in third place. Third place. So Macron may be safe. David says, no problem. His supporters don't care about what comes out of his mouth or his legal issues. I don't. David, is a choice between democracy and dictatorship. And because I've had the opportunity to go to 1, 2, 3 countries that were dictatorships that became democracies, and I listened to the people, and because I have friends that are from Syria and what they've gone through under democracies, under a dictatorship, and because I have other friends over the years that have come from countries that had dictatorships, it ain't fun, y'all. You think dictatorship, there's no difference. Some folks say, oh, it's not going to be any difference. Dictatorships are grossly different from a democracy. And you can call it whatever style of democracy we are still not a dictatorship. And dictatorships are dangerous. Not only, and it's dangerous to all people. Dictatorships are horrible, horrible. And sometimes I still scratch my head. I had this conversation with some friends and said, it fascinates me that there are people in our country that are American citizens today, that their family lineage or they themselves came from dictatorships. That's why they came to America. And they don't see the dictator traits in Trump. And yet they are voting for Trump. It still is a fascinating, is it because they're drawn to the thing that they know best, and that's because they were raised in dictatorships? I don't know. But dictatorship, like Brian says every day on this platform, the choice is simple. Dictatorship, the dude that says, I'm going to be a dictator on day one and has a Supreme Court that will support him, it's not a choice. Like I said, Biden could be on a respirator. He could be plugged into a machine. I will be voting for Biden if he is the ticket. To me, there's no other choice. The choice is not even dramatic. The choice is not even big. It is neither to me a lesser of two evils. I think Biden has his accomplishments. Biden has done amazing work. He has passed more legislation in America since Lyndon Johnson. More legislation in 3 years. That's amazing. Jobs and all the other stuff. And you go, and like we were saying on Elise's platform, you can just just put in Google, list Biden's accomplishments, and you will have them. So there's no excuse of, I don't know what he did, or he didn't do much. When you see that list, it might wake you up for those that don't believe that Biden's done so much for this country in 3.5 years. So he has passed precedents, and he has also, I think, if that man is in a wheelchair, we've had a president in a wheelchair. We've had presidents that were sick. Biden seems to be in good health, just looks like a little mental decline from, as they're saying, from being an older man. Omar says, unfortunately, they don't think logically, and they spew their disagreements out to the public. Exactly. The Democrats eat their own, right? Remember remember what, right? Franken? Remember Franken? How they ate him up? The Republican Party doesn't do that. The MAGA Party doesn't do that. They got a felon on the ticket, twice impeached, a pathological liar, a cheater, a disgraceful person, a person cheated on his wife, scandals in his companies, has never really been a millionaire, billionaire, whatever you want to call it. He may have it on paper. I'm just saying. Elise says, let me go to Elise. She says, good morning, Trish. Thank you. Rashawn says, go Biden. That's right. F mainstream media. Trish says, F the mainstream media. Wake up, America. Blue wave. Hey, Amparo. Amparo's in the building. How you doing, my dearest? And can I say something? Speaking of Amparo, this is just not for Amparo, but she reminds me of it. Yesterday's conversation about imposter syndrome blessed my heart. Do you know why it blessed my heart? Do you know why it blessed my heart? That was such a energetic, full of strong opinion conversation. And what makes a beautiful community, you guys really showed what a amazing community we have here. A community can agree to disagree. A community could feel safe to share their views and not be shot down for sharing it. People were putting in those chats what they felt. Some of them were strong. Some of them were opposition to one another. But yesterday's conversation, if you have not seen it, go check it out on the replay from yesterday's conversation about imposter syndrome. It was so beautiful to watch this community engage with one another. Omar said yesterday, you really learn a lot about the people in the community by those strong conversation topics. And so I just wanted to say I want to send this whole community a big hug, because every one of you, that especially all of you that participated, you put in the chat your feelings, you put in the chat what your thoughts were on imposter syndrome, what it made you feel, labels, all that stuff was so insightful and so rewarding to hear all of the great sides of the conversation, of the debate, sharing and talking. That's what community is all about. That's how we learn. So a shout out to every one of you that were here yesterday. It was amazing. I loved every moment of it. So I just wanted to give you that. Thank you, Amparo, for just your presence reminding me of the amazing conversations we had yesterday. Okay, let me see here. I see, hi, Aya. Maybe we make life more simple. Yes, maybe make life more simple. Simplicity is beauty. Lee says, we have two choices, democracy or dictatorship. Vote blue. There we go. Oh, David, you're not in trouble. You are allowed. No, David, this is a community where you can express your views. If there was a Trumpster in the room, we will just love them still. It's okay. That's the beauty of community. No one should hate anyone for how they feel. And no one doesn't understand why people believe or feel the way they feel, because there's a whole history of life behind people's thoughts and why they feel and believe what they believe in. And what's beautiful about a community, you know you are in a healthy community when people can have discord, express their feelings, and no insults. No one was insulting anyone. Everyone is made to felt welcomed. David, you can say whatever you want to say in your way. I mean, that gives us something to think about. Nothing's worse than everybody on the same. You ever seen the Stepford Wives? It's kind of scary, right? When everybody talks the same, looks the same, acts the same. That's a cult. Anyway, and I'm not for that. Anyway, Omar says, vote blue. Rashawn says, blue. Elise says, he is also dealing with Haiti and issues in African countries. Exactly. Elise says, I don't want anyone calling me before 10 a.m. Right. Set your boundaries. Set your boundaries. Trish says, people tend to drink at night, so definitely do not pick up. Hey, cuz is in the building. My cousin Edna is in the building. I'm glad I caught you this morning. I'm glad to have you here, cuzzo. Rashawn Vincent is in the building saying Trump is a demon. I think he's worse than a demon. Is there anything worse than a demon? Anyway, Bryson says, sorry that I'm late. Had watched Gladiator. Bryson. Okay, Trish, and I see the love. Anthony's in the building. He says, good morning. Trish says, lessers of two evils is an idiom only, Ron. I know what you mean, dog. But I've heard people say it. And I said, every time I hear someone say it, I always gotta chime in. It's just my pet peeve. Don't be insulted. It's my pet peeve. David says, I'm all Biden to cause that our only choice right now, but sadly he has reached his shelf life. I agree. It's old age is coming for all of us. Old age is coming for all of us if we're so blessed to live it. Can I throw that one in? If we're blessed to live it. Okay, I see here. I am so proud of France. Vive democracy. Vive democracy. Absolutely. France did their thing. Also, speaking of France, Tour de France, an African won one of the legs of the Tour de France. One of the segments of the Tour de France, an African one. So that was the first time in history. So shout out to I think his name is Bino. I think his name is. Okay. Let's see here. David says watch the movie Civil. Oh, Trish, yeah. Forever, I would say watch. Yeah, Civil War is a good movie to watch. It gives you some clues. Chris is in the building. Chris Baylor's in the building. What's going on? Good morning, y'all. Someone said it's a moment ago. Two evils, only one or two choices. It's still one. It's still who he was in the 80s, 90s. When they tell you who they are, believe them. Yes, right. And Brian says, people look at history, study how Hitler and Nazi parties came to power. In few short years, Germans went from democracy to 13 years of dictatorship. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. I gotta go teach. I won't go down that route. I was almost tempted, Brian. Chris says, if we had television in the 1940s, FDR would never have become president. Absolutely. He was in a wheelchair. They had to hide it because people were scared. They was in a wheelchair. Chris Baylor, Ron, you talking Hitler or Trump? I can't tell. They're the same. They're the same at this point. Mimi says, greetings, Ron and LP crew. There we go. Bryson says, hey, yay, Amparo, gladiators, yada, yada. Kimmy's in the building. Yes, Kimmy. Kelly's in the building. Kelly, yay. Good morning, everyone. And we gotta get to the lesson, y'all. We gotta get to the lessons. Okay. Remember Dennis Hoff, a pimp. Dennis Hoff, a pimp, won a 2018 legislative election in Nevada after he died. If he can, so can Biden. Exactly. I know that sounds morbid, but I definitely will vote for Biden no matter what. I'm telling you, it's democracy or dictatorship. And I am all in on democracy. Okay, let's get to the lesson, y'all. It's time to get to the lesson. Well, we'll first get some announcements out really quick so that way you know what's happening in the what's going on here. First of all, make sure you are like, subscribe, share, YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Like, subscribe, and share. If you like this channel and you just share it with your friends. Okay. Also, this for our Patreon community, we have on the third Thursday this month. Can we photograph sunsets? Yes, we can. That's going to be on Thursday, July 18th. If you are a part of our Patreon community, that is a class that I'll be sharing with you guys, teaching you about sunsets and how to photograph them. Also, if you're in New York City on the fourth Saturday of this month, we will be at our RLP Urban Photographers Meetup, walking, capturing images along Doyer Street on the 27th at 2 p.m. from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And where is Doyer Street? It is in the heart of Chinatown. So we'll be photographing Chinatown this month on our street photography walk. Okay, and for those that missed it, you might probably missed out on the giveaway for all the Patreon community. It is over. You missed it. You missed it. Sorry. But if you got it, celebrate it. You got that. And that was a great photo for you guys, which was a free download from my store. Let's see here. Let me go on. Let me go on. Let me go on. Okay, I think we got it all in. Okay, and just one banner for you all. I want to share. Make sure you know this. Photograph Your World. Virtual Basics, Photography 101, fun tutoring, using your camera model, creative instructions, and learning at your pace. Available in person, tutoring online, per se, and in New York City. So if you want some tutoring, look me up. I love tutoring you at your speed. Okay, here we go. We are ready. We are ready. It's time. How to simplify your shots in photography. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. And then we will head out from the buildings. But let's talk some photography today. How to simplify your shots in photography. Today, let's talk about simplifying your shots to create more impactful and visually appealing photographs. Here are some easy tips to get you started. Okay, 1, focus on one subject. Choose a single subject to be the focal point of your photo. This helps eliminate distractions and draws the viewer's attention to the main element. Focus on one subject. If it's the girl, focus on the girl. She may be in the crowd, but you want to focus on the girl. Get close to her. Maybe. I'm sorry, I'm rushing, going ahead. But focus on one thing. For instance, you see this little berry here. Focus on one thing. You got the berries, lots of berries, but focus on one berry. Focus on one subject. Focus on the hat, if that's what you want to focus on. Focus on the woman in red walking through a sea of black. Focus. Focus on one subject. Okay? Next. Use negative space. Incorporate negative space, the empty areas around your subject, which is to give your photo a clean and uncluttered look. This technique can make your subject stand out even more. Like you see this picture, and there's a bigger picture later on I'll show you. But all this is what's called negative space. You see that it's the clouds and the blue? That's called negative space. The subject is the roadway of the bridge. But the negative space, make use of negative space. It makes a difference. It makes a difference in your photography, right? Amparo says, each photo must have a subject. That's right. Amparo says, number one great tip, I have to remember that I get in the moment and want to take it all in. Right? Power is also chiming in. Is negative space really good for portrait or landscapes? Sometimes it is. It depends on the subject. It depends, like I tell my students, it depends on your story. What story do you want to tell? What is your visual story? That will determine your subject. It will determine how the subject is in play, where it's standing, or where you want to shoot from the angles. It depends on your subject and how you want to tell the story of that subject. Right? A girl wearing a red jacket when all the men are wearing black jackets is a subject to stand out. You can zero in close on her, or you can now also just have her in the sea of black jacket men wearing black jackets, and she happens to be the only woman, and she's wearing a red jacket. There's many ways to do this, but use negative space. I use negative space for my clients when I do branding photography. I will have my clients on the left side or the right side and give them total free negative space so they can put their quotes of the day when they talk to their communities. Like one of my clients, she's a CEO of a pharmaceutical company. She likes to use her negative space to send messages to all of her staff. Okay? So use negative space. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Next, limit your color palettes. Stick to a limited color palette to create a cohesive and harmonious image. Too many colors can be distracting and take away from the main subject. Right? Try to keep everything blending if you can. Sometimes the universe will bless you with you're taking a picture of a turquoise van, and then in the background there's a turquoise lettering on a signage, and you say, "Oh my God, this is a perfect moment." They're together. They're flowing together. The color is turquoise, right? So limit your color palettes. Don't kind of like have everything colors all over the place, because then people can't focus on the subject. They can't focus on the subject. Chris says, negative space or fill the frame, both have the same impact. Oh, Chris, you're going there. We get ready to go there, Chris. Okay, there we go. Anthony says, it also depends on how the photo will be used. The negative space can be used for a quote, caption, or another photo. That's what I said. That will be layered in. That's right. That's right. Tell your story. Oh, Empire says, oh, for branding and advertising? Yeah. I photograph corporate photography. I do corporate photography, headshots. So, and I do branding. So I usually do a whole branding packet when I with my clients. So that this is negative space is important. Okay, but the colors are too. I tell my clients, say, what should I wear? What should I wear for a branding shoot? I tell them, wear your brand colors. Wear your brand colors so we can keep repeating the theme in all of the photos. Repeat the themes of your branding colors. But let's stay with the limit your colors. Limit your color palette. Next, simplify the background. Look for simple, non-distracting backgrounds that complement your subject. A busy background can take attention away from your main focus. Right? Right? Let's see here what you're saying. Empower says, I have examples. Sorry about that. Empower says, I have examples of both techniques. I employ negative space naturally. That's right. Here we go. Look at the photographers in the room chiming in. I have to use this more, says Amparo. Chris says, use the color wheel. I disagree. You direct the viewer's eye. Oh, I use because I'm an interior designer. I am acquainted with my color wheel, and it does help me in my photography. Oh, Trish says, "Come naked." No, I mean, well, there are places where I mean, was anyone at the Chicago naked bicycle race? Was anybody in that? The nude bicycle race? Okay, next, use leading lines. Utilize leading lines to guide the viewer's eye towards the subject. This can be anything from roads, fences, or even shadows. Or you can use a counter, or you can use the stove. Leading lines, lines that draw you into the subject. Look at these lines, all moving towards the subject, coming down, lines coming in, lines from the left, lines from the right, lines coming up. Use leading lines. It's one of my favorite things of composition is leading lines. I love lines because I love design. I love architecture. So I use a lot of leading lines in my photography. I use people as leading lines. Depends on what it is. Next, let me tick the time clock there. Get closer, said Chris. I think it was Chris that said that. Get closer. Sometimes the best way to simplify is to get closer to your subject. Fill the frame with your subject to eliminate unnecessary elements. I use this trick a lot. You probably saw that this weekend I was at Soul Summit. And I'll get close in to take some photos because there's all this distractions going on. Or I'll go wide because this person may stand out from the crowd. But I get close. I get close because it eliminates all the distractions. Chris says he was too soon, right? Chris like, I got you, Ron. I got you. Trish says, yes, leading lines. Going back to our leading lines. Chris says, if you have a busy background, your subject wears a Cosby sweater will clash. That's right. You got to keep your background simple. I was hanging out with Jamel Shabazz. Shout out to Jamel. And one day he was downtown. This couple came up. They were so appreciative of him. They love his work and everything. And then he said, may I photograph you? And the background was distracting. So what Jamel did, he took them over to this beautiful wall that was nicely lit, plain background, so that the couple can shine and be the center of the story. The subject could be highlighted because there were no distractions in the background. Sometimes you might need a gray wall. Find the gray wall. Sometimes you may have to step to a black wall. Sometimes you may have to step to a white wall. Sometimes you just need the background of all trees, just green, to keep the simplicity of the background. But anyway, that was back to the background. Stay with close. I'm up to get closer. Get closer though, guys. Get close to your subject, like this little boy is here. Next. Experiment with composition. Try different compositions like the rule of thirds, symmetry, or framing to find what works best for your shot. A well-composed photo often looks more organized and pleasing. Absolutely, right? Really? See, Anthony says, when I started out, getting closer was difficult for me. Omar says, look at the photos I did of you, Ron. That's right. Omar hooked me up. Brother, man. When he comes back to New York, we're going to do another photo shoot. Omar made me look like a star. Some of those photos are right in some of all my work now. Everywhere I post my photos, it's Omar's photos. He knows how to change the composition. Change the rule of thirds, framing, so important. Also, Chris says, but I argue that you can get tighter on the subject to work a busy background, throws it out of focus. Yes, Yes, if you go close, you get a nice depth of field, depending on your f-stops. But that's another story. We won't go there. F-stop is too technical. We don't want to go too technical. Okay. Also, Trish says, best tip I ever got was to never shoot from the same spot. That's right. Keep moving around the subject. That's what someone told me. That was one of my first lessons. Don't stand in one place and photograph something or someone. Move around the subject and get the best angles. Okay, here's some subjects. I can go into these, and this is like rule of thirds, simple. Like Chris was just sharing, you focus so much on this crown, and then all the rest of the background gets blurred out. No distractions. Here again, a couple, just the flower is the subject, the love of them. I'm not concentrating. Oh, first of all, these are not my photos. These are the sub pictures from photos. These are from stock images. But the photographer, I should say, the photographer wants you to focus in on just the people, the legs, and the broad, just that closeness. Next, again, remember that picture we shared about zero negative space? Look at all this negative space. But the subject is the bridge. The subject is the bridge. Right? I see Rashawn says, I'm taking my photo notes. That's right. Y'all, look, my students pay for this. So y'all, if you're getting this information, you're getting it right here, right here. So anyway, just saying, y'all should be taking advantage of these notes, of this information. Also, here again, beautiful family picture, kids in the middle, patterns the same in the background. See the patterns consistent across the background, simple background, so that they stand out from the background. The subject stands out. Here's one of a beautiful orangutan, I think it is. Beautiful, right? Get close, and then all the background. You don't know where this was shot. You don't know if he's in a cage. You don't know if he's in the safari. You don't know where this wonderful creature is. However, the subject is plain and simple. Or like I did this weekend, fireworks. Yeah, there you go. You probably say, why is Ron using stock photos for his lessons? Because my images are usually too big. And for our platform here, when I create these presentations, they need to be able to flow with the PowerPoint. So I use PowerPoint for these presentations. Okay, last but not least, remember, less is more. Simplifying your shots can make them more powerful and engaging. Happy shooting. Happy shooting. Okay, when is Ron coming to North Cali? When I get an invitation, I'm coming. You let me know. I will find a flight and come on out. Yes, right. Trish, right, I got that from Trish. David says, best advice I've got was to crop with my feet, not in post. Less time on the Mac. Yes, right. What he means by on his feet, in the moment. Focus, right? They always say, get everything you can in camera when you are shooting it, so that way you don't have to do a lot of editing when it comes to your editing tools. Okay? So make sure you do that. Make sure you get everything lined up, everything in right place, everything the way you want it in camera, so you don't have to do a lot of editing. The rule of thumb for me in life is always been simplicity is beauty. And that is another rule I use with photography. So there you have it, y'all. There you have it. Did you learn anything today? Did you learn anything today? Just so you know, you can, if you are in, okay, let me see. Okay, I got this. Let me see. Hold on a second. Okay. If you are in the Patreon community, obviously you get this whole article is right here. Everything is here. This is a photo I took on the this weekend just passed. But here it is: how to simplify your shots in photography. This is to the Patreon community. So the Patreon community, all you folks, this is right there for you in the paid subscription for the paid supporters. Okay, there you go. It's right there in Patreon page. So there you have it. You can go there. Like I said, you can go to Patreon and click on that, and there you have it. Okay, guys. Did you learn anything? If you learned something, give me one thing before we close out. Give me one thing you learned today. One thing. I want to post it on the board, and I want to just say thank you for listening. What did you learn today? What did you learn? Take some time out. Let people. You are my summary. Can I say that? By you posting on what you learned today, you are the community summary. There you go. Amparo says negative space. She learned about negative space today. All right. Chris is saying depends on how you shoot. I issue the entire frame. I don't like cropping my imagery unless that's how I shot it. Will I crop in post if the images may need it? Okay, got that. Trish says she learned today to vote blue. And David says he learned today we are all still Biden supporters. What else did you learn today? Aya says, I agree, and taking notes in my journal for RLP photography class. Plenty of helpful information to focus on one subject and use negative space. Brian says, such great reminders for me when I'm photographing. Focus on subject. There you go. That's right. Focus on the subject. What else? What else did you guys learn today? What else did you learn? Come on. Come on. Chris says, learning, we are all still trying to serve each other. That's a beautiful thing, right? Serving one another. Serving others is the greatest gift. That's why I come on here every day. I get to serve. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Any more summary? Any more summaries? What you learned today? Okay. And oh goodness, Bryson says it's 11:04. We're getting all ready to get out and vote and stop Project 2025. Amen to that. Amen to that. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. I think we're going to do water cool. I think we're going to just finish the rest of the summer. I don't know. Maybe we may have a guest here or there. I'm not sure during the summer. I do like the water cooler days, and since you guys are liking it, you let me know. You can let me know if you want to have some guests on Wednesdays or you want to continue with the water cooler chats that we've been having on Wednesdays. Let me know what you like and what is best for you. Okay, send me a DM. Let me know. Also, if you are in Instagram, make sure you come over to the YouTube channel. That's where we live. That's where we thrive. That's where you get a better experience. Make sure you come over to YouTube, to Ron Lewis Photos, or you can just put in your Google search, Touch Base Daily, and we pop up. Oh, I see my brother's in the building. Good morning, Mr. Kevin is in the building, all the way from South Kakalaki. Let's see here. Okay, I think that's it, y'all. That's it. We got some lessons in. We got to talk politics, and we got to talk photography. That's what we do here. Okay, y'all. I am getting ready to leave you. So, guys, what should we be doing this? Make sure. I want to make sure I say my closings. Live life like you mean it, right? And focus on what's important. Later.